racist to a point. Yeah. You know,
Those weren't the words of a bitter man caught in a heated argument. They weren't shouted in a locker room or muttered after a few drinks. They were said quietly, casually, in a private moment, one the world wasn't supposed to hear. And they came from a man who once symbolized greatness, Hulk Hogan, the childhood hero of millions, the face of professional wrestling for an entire generation. The icon in red and yellow said that. And now on July 24th, 2025, he's gone. At his Clearwater, Florida home, Hogan collapsed. Emergency services arrived within minutes. They performed CPR, oxygen, defibrillator shocks. They worked on him for over 30 minutes. But at 9:51 a.m., Hulk Hogan was pronounced dead. And just like that, the final match ended. Terry Jean Bollea was born in Augusta, Georgia in 1953, before the fame, before the scandal, before the name that would define a pop culture era. He was a bass guitarist before he ever hit the ropes. A long-haired kid with dreams bigger than stadiums. He trained in Florida, paid his dues, wrestled under different names. But by the early 1980s, he became Hulk Hogan, and everything changed. He wasn't just a wrestler. He was the wrestler. Standing 6'7", weighing over 300 pounds, with arms like battering rams and charisma dialed to 11, Hogan wasn't just a man. He was American myth. He slammed Andre the Giant in front of 93,000 fans at WrestleMania 3 in the Pontiac Silverdome. A moment so legendary, it's still replayed today. He tore his shirt before every match, whipping the crowd into a frenzy with each rip and roar. His finisher? The leg drop. Basic, brutal, beloved. His catchphrases? Burned into the cultural memory. And Hulkamania? It wasn't a marketing stunt. It was a movement. Say your prayers, eat your vitamins, believe in yourself. That was the gospel of the 80s, and Hogan was the pulpit. He wasn't confined to the ring. He starred in Rocky III, led movies like Suburban Commando, and headlined TV shows like Thunder in Paradise. He was everywhere. Talk shows, toys, cartoons, lunchboxes, bedsheets, action figures, rap albums. He sold everything, including the American dream. And the dream was jacked, tanned, and unstoppable. But fame never stands still. By the mid-1990s, wrestling changed. The fans wanted edge, complexity, and Hogan, ever the showman, adapted. He turned heel. Black beard, black bandana, Hollywood Hogan. He joined the NWO, a faction that rewrote wrestling storytelling forever. The villain act worked. It reinvigorated his career, but it came with a price. Behind the scenes, his personal life was falling apart. In 2007, the curtain truly began to fall. His 24-year marriage to Linda dissolved in a flurry of tabloid headlines. His son, Nick Bollea, was involved in a street racing crash. The passenger, a close friend, was left permanently brain damaged. The lawsuits piled up. So did the guilt. Meanwhile, Hogan starred in a reality show, Hogan Knows Best. What began as lighthearted family fare quickly turned into a window into dysfunction. Viewers saw chaos, stress, fame fatigue, and a family on the brink of implosion. Then came 2015, a leaked sex tape, Hogan in bed with the wife of his best friend, radio host Bubba the Love Sponge. That alone could have ended things. But the tape also featured something worse. Hogan using the N-word repeatedly, and then the quote that would echo forever, "I am a racist," to a point. The response was swift. WWE cut ties immediately. He was pulled from the Hall of Fame, scrubbed from video packages, websites, merchandise, sponsors vanished, Mattel, 2K Games, gone. He wasn't suspended, he was erased. And for the first time in his career, Hulk Hogan, the immortal, the icon, couldn't wrestle his way out. But he still had one move left. In 2016, he sued Gawker Media for publishing the sex tape. Not over the racism, but over his right to privacy. The jury sided with Hogan. He was awarded $140 million in damages. Gawker was destroyed, its assets sold, its founders silenced. It was one of the most controversial verdicts in media history. Some called it a victory for personal privacy. Others saw it as a billionaire-funded vendetta, especially after it was revealed that Silicon Valley mogul Peter Thiel secretly funded the lawsuit. Either way, Hogan won. By 2018, the door to redemption creaked open. He was reinstated in the Hall of Fame. He appeared at WWE events again. Saudi Arabia's crown jewel. WrestleMania cameos. But something had changed. He was slower, quieter. The shirt ripping came with effort, not energy. The fans were split. Some cheered, childhood memories flooding back. Others stood silent. Because this wasn't just about wrestling. It was about accountability and the question of who deserves a comeback. Hogan remarried in 2023. He launched a beer brand. He made appearances at political rallies, grinning alongside conservative figures and waving signs. He gave interviews about faith, forgiveness, starting over. He told fans he had turned to God. One of his final tweets read, "Every day I'm reminded that God is good, always thankful." But the body was weakening. Rumors swirled in 2025 that he'd undergone surgery, that he was in a coma. He denied it. Posted a smiling photo with his wife, insisted he was healthy, but those close to him said otherwise. He'd lost weight, he looked tired, he was slipping away. Then came July 24th, 2025, the 911 call, the sirens, the panic. Paramedics rushed in, CPR, oxygen, defibrillators, but none of it worked. At 71 years old, Hulk Hogan, the man who once slammed giants and powered through everything life threw at him, was gone. The world reacted instantly. Social media exploded. Tributes, memes, montages, replays, WrestleMania 3, leg drops, the infamous quote. Some fans mourned, others mocked. A few just said, "Good riddance." Wrestlers posted heartfelt messages. Some stayed silent, pointedly so. There was grief, there was celebration, there was confusion. So who was Hulk Hogan? Was he a hero who slipped, or a mask that finally cracked? Was Terry Bollea any different from Hulk Hogan? Or were they always the same man, one real, one cartoon, both tragic? He leaves behind a fractured fan base, a complicated legacy, a multi-million-pound estate, and a wrestling industry forever shaped by his triumphs and his failures. Because whether you loved or loathed him, you can't tell the story of wrestling without Hulk Hogan. He was its icon, its face, and eventually, its cautionary tale. His story will be debated for decades, not just by fans, but by journalists, academics, and critics. He represents a collision between nostalgia and accountability, between myth and man. Still watching? Maybe you're here for the nostalgia, or maybe you just can't look away from a downfall. Either way, hit that subscribe button. It helps keep our narrator alive. He runs on black coffee, ruined reputations, and unreleased depositions from former child stars. And trust us, this isn't the end, because next time, we're pulling back the curtain on a UK pop star who claims Simon Cowell ruined her career on purpose. And if you thought Hogan's story was dark, well, fame hides everything until it doesn't.